But the role of the juvenile defender is to really be the voice of the child in the court system. And when we talk about the voice of the child, it's the expressed interest voice. What does the child say his or her interests are? And that's very different than any other player in the system. We talk about juvenile court a lot being focusing on the best interest of the child. That may be the role of the judge, and that sometimes may be the role of the prosecutor or the probation officer. But the role of the juvenile defender is to be the voice of the child, to give the child a voice in the proceedings. And that is part of the due process requirements that are laid out by the Supreme Court. Children have a voice, and they are allowed to have their views represented in a case. And so the role of the juvenile defender is to be that person, not to substitute their judgment for that of the child. Now, that doesn't mean that we as lawyers give up all of our schooling and our education, our experience, at the whim of a direction of a child. Our role becomes much more complicated in that we become advisors to the child. We have to help the child understand the process of the court system, the defenses that are available, and help the child understand what the child's goals are and advise the child on the best ways to achieve those within the system, but still acting as the child's voice, not as our own.
I think that it also requires, in the context of juvenile court, a set of, frankly, a knowledge that I think adult criminal defense lawyers don't need or even necessarily require, and that is the knowledge about juvenile adolescent development, the specific qualities of youth that are relevant to how we think about juvenile culpability and blameworthiness, and also, as importantly, how we think about juvenile disposition, rehabilitation, and treatment options.
In addition, we're about the only one in the courtroom that's going to say anything good about the kid. There are lots of people that are going to talk about what they did wrong and why all the problems they have and all of the danger signs about this child. We're the only ones that are likely to speak up for the child and to say what their strengths are, that they're a great musician, that they're a great poet, that they want to grow up and assume a certain kind of profession. We are their voice. We're the only ones whose job it really is to speak for the child.